Good evening, viewers, readers, listeners, and watchers. We will resume play and we will begin again in the book entitled The Sacraments of Eternity. Let us resume play. Let us begin. Disciple. Teacher, if I can put it this way, your book has already been released. The next book is also very interesting. Even people on the street ask me, what happens next? I receive many letters. People show their interest in Eternity book because it is written in a natural human language. During this work, I can observe you, Mother Mary, Jerusalem, Rome, other things I never saw before, if not to mention what I can hear. Some can laugh at me. Let it be. They will come to understand. But it will be. It will be too. I have a question. There are people, not many, who say to me, no one can talk directly to God, especially you. Are you a specialist? Academician? Theologian? Why are you spreading hearsay among people? Stop messing things up. What can I do? How should I deal with this in our society? I understand I'm not a saint, but I am not the lost sinner either. Teacher. Alexander. First of all, I congratulate you for releasing our book. It came to the world through much effort. Few can hear me, and if they share, the skeptics blame them for speaking with demons. Everyone can talk to God. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just be happy. Yes, if I had been devil, you would be writing about different things. Of course, this is possible. Devilish and spiritual, insane things today you find in bookstores, selling stuff proclaiming violence, atrocity, and sin. There's no spiritual reading, not any real spiritual reading, since 1917. Now, Eternity was released in a limited amount of copies. There are those who hesitate opening it. They got used to devilish plots with murder and extreme. Still, I admire those. Yes, I, Jesus Christ, the God, respect those holding and reading these books. Eternity and Revelation of my Mother Mary. Leave evil tongues and doubts behind. Work and put all you receive from me on paper. This is my gift to you and all people for the benefit of humankind. Eternity Book contains this power, spiritual and holy power, saving souls of my believers. True Christian person will accept and acknowledge me, and he knows we can talk as equal. You opened your heart in the name of holy deeds. In my name, for the Orthodox Christians, those who are searching and those who got lost in this spoilt modern world. People with evil intentions will learn their lesson as they are alive. I see everything. I know how to teach. There's a lot of vice around you. I see. They speak good deeds in your face, and they are ready to stab you from behind. I've been through such things, so I will root out the vice. Sorry for being rude, but I know what exactly I should say. With my disciples, I lived a long, spiritually fulfilled life on earth. I did not allow any of them talking to the devil. Don't be afraid of evil idols living around you. You have a strong guard by your side to rely on. You know who he is? Once, Simon fell to my feet and said, Jesus, I can't be your disciple. I am a sinner. So I replied, it's okay, Simon. Leave doubts behind. From now on, you will be catching people. And so should you, Alexander. Convey them your good spirit. Make them better. Write more. The stronger your spirituality gets, the better life will become for Ukraine. Your country is the blooming cherry garden. This is the beauty. When you look around, it is difficult to describe what you see. People still don't know how to receive and value God's grace. Those who do live a happy, fulfilled life. You got used to the routine. While there are so much more holy and graceful things around, I also mean your dignity. A prisoner may seem a savage for an average civilian, but whoever looked into his soul, who saw it, who opened his mind, no one except the prisoner. Yes, he might have committed a crime, but social rejection makes him fierce, while his soul is human. He still is God's child. Why do I say so? Because this individual personifies your civilization. I know what is going on in every soul. So I share my holy power through people who hear me. Trust them. So far, they are very few. Disciple. Yes, teacher. This is a lesson not only for me, but for all who is devoted to you and who, thank you very much. When one casts out a net, he or she always has a hope for a good catch. I don't want to be rude, just want to show you the true meaning as a human soul born and created by God must get back to the holy and heavenly net. It may look figurative, but to my mind, it is easily understood. Life path itself is a question. To explain it in prose is impossible, as the whole humankind shall be spiritually ready. This is hard work. When you persuade people one after another, it will take very much time to persuade all. However, when you persuade the whole civilization, it has much more of a significant effect. Anyway, you cannot stand still with a dull mind. You need to act, introduce something new, and replace all the callous sediment in spiritual minds. The one who is wandering in doubts may fade away without help, without a feeling of the right path. Being spiritually blind, a human will stumble. The true believer will respond to any challenges. Physical challenges may hurt him, of course, but spiritual will bring great pleasure. Those who believe will get the highest pleasure. The pleasure may vary through communication with God. Understand that communication with God is the top priority, as only God can generously sort everything out. Disciple. There's a saying, laughter brings health. Laughter may be different, caused by envy or caused by joy and a funny joke. Teacher, let me respond to you so. Every type of laughter has its tears. This is the primary meaning. If you want to laugh, please do. Though, if it is the laughter of envy and humiliation, tears will brim over for each who is laughing. You asked me this question before, and I responded. Though I understand why you asked me about it again. Disciple. Teacher, many people do not agree with me and keep claiming that life started with Adam and Eve. Who then was the ancestor of such peoples as the Ivikis, the Nanis, the Babu tribe in Africa? How do I explain this? Everything is possible at the moment, but as far as I know, Adam and Eve represented fair-skinned people. And again, for example, what about the Babel tribe in Africa? Teacher, I already responded to this question. After the collision of the Earth with a massive comet, all people on the planet died. New resettlement from other galaxies was initiated. They were settled on the firm land. I think that is enough for the reply. I understand you. If you happen to share your opinion with a man from the Babu tribe in Africa, saying that he is a descendant of Adam and Eve, he will laugh. He'll laugh at you and will direct his spear to heaven, telling you he is from there. You'll be ashamed, I think. I'll let you know more a bit later. The great space, kingdom of heaven, is a hospitable place. Your world at times is not at all. Your life was given to you by the great space, but you deny it. The great space saves you, but you murder your saviors. God meets you with a welcoming embrace, but you meet him with a sword. God, Creator, meets you with love, but you meet him with a gun in your pocket. God, Creator, brings you light. You hide behind the screen. The Almighty treats you with tenderness. You throw mud at him. Overmind gives you knowledge. You destroy it without even looking at it. I am telling you this so that each of you could find yourself in these lines and would think it over as every day you become closer to the kingdom of heaven. Become closer to the kingdom of heaven. Each of you should come prepared for this meeting to make it joyful, not obscure. Take your time and don't rush to draw any conclusion, as it may lead you to oblivion. Meet me with open heart and soul filled with love. Whether a human initiates contact with God or God with a human, it doesn't matter. It feels the same. Contact with the devil or Satan brings transcendental effect, and it is impossible to deny, as it exists and can be visible, whereas all the divine often dragged through the mud. Devil's whispered thoughts are always ahead of a human and bring bewilderment. No, I am not forceless through my hopes live inside you. Do not follow evil thoughts. Following Father's will and thinking about it all the time, you support the whole humankind. Not to go to the bottom through such episodes do happen. God's creation is humiliated, but not for long. This is how you perceive it. When I'll show you my gifts in my hands, every atheist will show these are gifts from me, not Satan. A human who believes in me will keep silence and open his or her heart. Another will talk using the devil's language, but I will hear both and will decide what to do with them. The kingdom of heaven is chaos, but very wise and worth of its existence in favor of you. One may touch it, but not with a hand, only with a soul. Who does it will be blessed for all the times. Do not deny its existence, as it is not you who touched it, but someone else, and he accepted it. You live in delusion as of yet. Though I ask you again, if you are capable of thinking, decide for yourself from now on and choose yourself and the pole of your likeness. I do not demand, but I ask you, when the time comes, I'll talk to everyone, and every one of you will feel ashamed and request me to help. You will request me, not the devil. Nobody on deathbed has ever requested Satan for convalescence. Even an ardent skeptic, being in agony, asks me, Lord, help me. I accept those without hesitation. It's a pity that in daily life, people behave differently. Consider a person of any age. For example, I even can see it by the behavior of my disciple. People are indeed able to drive a person to the extreme, but the Lord will always be with those who are unfairly offended. A sincere revelation of an inspired soul can truly open itself for conscience and consciousness. When in your material real life, you start to understand God. In other words, a human can know himself only in the truth which created him. This truth is a complex thing, though your conscience is not simple either. There was a search for the application of energy and the creation of something unique. It worked out very well, and it is all done by the Almighty, the Overmind. It can be understood and treated differently, or without knowing all, one won't take it. God's energy is very fair and powerful. Everything is designed for the common well-being, including a human. If you have a composition for treating something unusual, you will definitely create it, and you'll feel joy and pleasure. So why do you deny God's force? I do not understand. You often rely on yourself only, but this is a delusion that you'd be better to avoid. Everybody wants to receive a sacrament of life. However, a special faith and the most delicate perception of the own spirituality, your own, is required. Spirituality holds everything from the beginning to the end. Though it is hard to define where the beginning or ending is, if you think that birth is the other side of death or vice versa, it will scare you like a ghost. I would say this. This ghost is a devaluation of both God and your own body. There's a common thought that death is the end. Death is not the end. You are wrong. You only need to build your beginning and direct it not to the abyss, but to the bright rays of amazingly beautiful light, God's light. This light will absorb you forever. Beautiful moments of your immortality will carry you to bright enlightenment or rebirth of your soul, merging into a new form of life. You will understand the meaning of your life on earth. If someone does not understand, he or she will return again for improvement, but not for long. In your selfishness, you will need to find your own sense. It is very important for genetic development as it rushes forward and moves all the sacraments of the life from the beginning. Everything around is an energy, integral equation of all eternal and worthy of the attention of two conscious sides. Even though one of these sides carries itself to dozens of stages higher, you already know what it means. Obeying the highest, you can gain true elements, not only for your consciousness, but for subconsciousness. This, in its turn, you will revive your vital intellect, and the whole body will resurrect from the cruel diseases which attack you because of your spiritual weakness. Human is a spark of God's fire, which is eternal. Sparks from the fire. Sparks are fading, but revive again. And it is a miracle, especially for a spark itself. There may be a thought that when one spark fades away, another will be born and will warm everyone and will get back to the endless fire of its rebirth and again will prepare itself for new birth. The fire is never extinguished, for the energy of fire is eternal, like the sun, and one must worship the sun of the universal birth. Reality is inside life, and life is the inside reality. It is impossible to renounce this, for the birth itself leads to reality, not only a human, but all living things which are able to recreate themselves. Spiritual depth is in the Almighty hands, though He is just a parent. You are those who implement. You decide how to manage the gifts that you were given. You decide how to manage the gifts you were given. One moment.